Society of the Living Dead, Radium Girls.
Stevie Croisen,
Madeline Tiller,
Isaac Piller,
Piller+Statue, Rachel Van Dermolen filling in for Abby Morris.
This is a story of suffering, greed, and deceit. The deaths of the Ottawa women who made up the Society of the Living Dead run fair, yet not in vain. Their voices and actions help change labor laws, and the medical research done on their radiation-riddled bodies helps set industrial standards.
Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. My husband Pierre and I, Marie Curie, were intrigued with the phenomenon I coined as radiation. Our goal was to use radiation to help improve people's health. Pierre and I began experimenting with pitch blende and discovered it to be radioactive. Radium is believed to cure anything from a common cold to a migraine, and people are taken by its mysterious glowing quality.
Huddled in Belgium trenches where time has stopped, soldiers count the numbers radiating from their watches. As deadly as mustard gas, as comforting as any light in darkness.
A few ounces of the element radium, mixed with paste and water, produces an amazing glowing paint that I can make a fortune marketing. Using my connections to Standard Chemical, I, Joseph Kelly Sr., have access to all the radium I need and have hatched a plan to make it big. The year is 1922, and I'm off to Ottawa, Illinois, where opportunity is ripe. Westclock's manufacturing company has a vast array of timepieces, and I have a contract to fill. My company, Radium Dial, will provide them with light in the dark and a future in time they could never have imagined.
I just got a job. I'll be working after school at the high school, painting clock faces for Radium Dial. All I have to do is use this green glowing liquid to paint the numbers on the clock faces, and I get paid. But first I have to do exactly as Mr. Kelly says. He is the man in charge of we girls, and he says in order to paint with thin, accurate strokes, we have to lick the brushes to sharpen the point tip. If I do that really well and make it past the 6-week trial period, I can earn $17.50 a week.
50 girls hunched at wooden desks at the Radium Dial Company, Ottawa, Illinois. Heads aligned, hair cut short, like an army in review. Not a soldier older than 20. Wooden trays beside them, filled with plaques, arranged like cupcakes waiting to be iced. They mix paint from powdered base, lip point brushes with long legs into tips, fine enough to paint time. They paint 250 dials a day, 5.5 days each week, a penny and a half per dial.
It's now 1925, and although many of us in the industry have suspected that radium can indeed be dangerous, it has just been proven so. A Dr. Martland presented some paper to the American Medical Association. Ha! This is outrageous! Why should I pay to make these changes for my employees? I think I'll just leave things the way they are for now.
I'm beginning to worry about the radium we used to paint the dials at work. Peg and several others of us girls used to paint our fingernails, upper lip, chins, and even teeth with action in the bottom of the bottle. We had great fun in the dark closet, making faces with our glowing images. It was all for fun. But Peg and some of the other girls have been real sick lately. Peg's problem started when she did a tooth pull. Part of her jaw came out too. The dentist said that her jawbone was all honeycomb. It would never heal. Others have limps like Peg, with aching settling into their joints. Radium Dial let Peg go. They said her lip didn't look good. She's gotten so weak, her boyfriend has to pull her in a wagon to our little picnic.
It's now 1928, and my competitor, U.S. Radium Corporation, has just settled a series of suits with many of their workers. This, along with some mysterious illnesses, have caused some of my girls to become anxious. But I know how to calm their fears.
Mr. Kelly said the paint wouldn't hurt us. In fact, he said it would put a healthy glow on our cheeks. He even hung a poster in the workroom and an ad in the Republican Times that says that pure radium, like what's used in our paint, won't hurt us. I guess that's exactly what we want to hear. We like our pay too much to put out of worry.
Confused bones bond radium tight, and it singes their core. Wounds go coolant without healing. The company claims safety. Dentists lie for their teeth.
Peg and some of the other girls I've worked with have died terrible, painful deaths. Peg's sister said the company doctor put her in the hospital and wouldn't let them see her. When they questioned the company doctor and the dentist who first pulled her tooth, they denied that her ill health had anything to do with the paint we use at Radium Dial. But I fear that they know more and are just not talking. When Peg died in the night, the company wanted to bury her body right away before morning. Being good Catholics, the family refused until there had been a service. They also arranged for an out-of-town doctor to do an autopsy. But when he got there, the company doctor said the autopsy was already done. She died of diphtheria.
Doctors tell me I will die, but I mustn't. I have too much to live for. A husband who loves me, and 2 children I adore. They say nothing can save me, nothing but a miracle. My doctor suspects my illness is from licking the radium-covered brushes at work. He cannot speak out, but as he says, it may lead to the end of his career. Well, I've decided to take action. I will not sit here idly waiting for death. It will have to come find me. My husband has driven me to a Chicago doctor, Dr. Loeffler, who won't be influenced by Mr. Joseph Kelly and his company. We are prepared to get to the bottom of this and get a Chicago attorney. I know I can get several other girls who have worked with me over the last 9 years to come in on the lawsuit so that we can get compensation money to pay the doctors that might be able to help save us.
A woman is stretched out on her sickbed. 5 former workers encircle her, arms folded, looking down at the figure whose eyes are closed and could pass for dead. A man in a dark suit sits and stares directly at her closed eyes, but doesn't touch her. One woman holds a comma of white hand, while the others stand inert.
Miss Catherine Donahue collapsed in one of her early court cases, but continued from her deathbed. Radium Dial documents have been found that prove one of Joseph Kelly's strategies in dealing with the workers' lawsuits was to drag them out, for as he is quoted,
They'll die before we settle.
a small group of young women called the Society of the Living Dead by area newspapers received small settlements.
More than 30 co-workers died agonizing deaths from radiation poisoning, leading to terminal head and bone cancers. Many other dial painters lived long enough to be intensely studied by Argonne National Laboratory before dying of the longer-term result of radiation poisoning.
These women did not know why they were being studied, but they became the foundation of research that set the industrial standards for radiation poisoning.
Kelly closed Radium Dial in the old Ottawa High School in 1936, amid workers' compensation cases. Less than 1 year later, the new luminous process plant opened across town with his name on documents as manager. Again, girls began painting glowing dials. This time, lip pointing was not encouraged.
The Society of the Living Dead was a small group of brave radium dial painters. Young women who worked together and demanded that the companies that they trusted with their health compensate them for their work-related illnesses. Their efforts to alert the community to the danger of radium and the battle they fought to be recognized opened the door to the war that Ottawa continues to fight to this day against radiation.